Okay, so before I break this setup down today, I went ahead and hooked up 4 of these resistors to this SoundQubed U1-8000. And that is a 2 ohm resistive load. So this would be typically, if you're going to wire speakers to an amplifier at 1 ohm after your impedance rise, depending on your enclosure, like a standard ported enclosure, typically it's going to have a 2 times rise at your peak frequency. So that would rise it from 1 ohm starting impedance to a 2 ohm load after rise. So the reason for this video is, this is, like I said, 2 ohm load. It's a 1 ohm amplifier. We're not really testing specifically how much power we can get out of this amplifier. This is going to simulate someone out there that says, "Oh man, I want a big amp, but I got a stock electrical. I got one battery up front. I got me an AGM up front. This is a Group 34 AGM, and it's a new one." And this is a 100 amp power supply, so that's going to take place of our 100 amp alternator. And yes, there's cars out there with less power than that on their alternators. I had a 03 Buick LeSabre at one point in time, and it had a 105 amp alternator, and we put a really killer system in it when I sold it to one of my friends, and we put like 110 amp hour C-Max bank in that thing, and kept the stock alternator. Put we were able to control the voltage with one of those voltage knobs instead of the diode trick, and we set it at about 15.3 volts, I think it was. Can't really remember the specifics on that, but anyway, it did really good. We set it up for an Orion 5000.1D SPLX, and we was clamping 6,500 watts out of that amplifier, and it was wired to 1 ohm. So we was getting full power out of the amplifier because it was ran off of the battery. All right, that's important here. This is what I'm going to show you. So somebody has stock electrical, again, single AGM battery. It's even in the back, right next to the amplifier. And those beeping noises are my meters there. They've been on for a little while. It's just a little reminder that they've been on. But again, single AGM in the back, right next to the amplifier, because hey, that's all I need, right, to run this big 8,000 watt amplifier. And I got my stock 100 amp alternator right here, and it's set. It's set to 14.65 volts. So right now I have this on minimum. It's gonna hold the minimum voltage. And this is the clamp. This is clamping the power going into the amplifier. And I got it set on max, and both of these are DC. So we're going to measure the maximum current and then the voltage drop. All right, so I did some tests prior. So on this U1-8000, with the 2 ohms of resistors, with the power supply and the battery going, it was clean for about a whole second, just 1 second, at volume 46. And then at volume 47, it was in clipping, okay? So that's what I'm going to do, and that was at 40 hertz. So that's what I'm going to do. There's volume 46. I'm going to turn the lights back on. Then I'm just going to unpause it, and I'm going to hold it for about a second. That's about all it's going to have. Well, all right. So I double hit it because I thought that I missed the peak. But you saw it was clean on the screen. It was clean on the screen. We pulled 286, almost 287 amperes of current from the power supply and the battery. But look what we dropped down to. We dropped down to 11.42 volts in that just 1 to 2 seconds. All right. So that's what happens. And again, it was clean. So let's reset these. And I'm going to put that back on max for maximum amperage. I'm going to put this one back on minimum. So again, right now we're charging that battery at 14.65 volts. And that's the current draw with that amplifier in idle. So now we're going to go one click up into clipping. One click into clipping. 46 was clean. Let's see what 47 does. Well, let's reset our we're going to reset our watt meter. All right, volume 47. Watch the screen. You see the clip? It's clipping on the screen. Drop down to 10.82 volts. And we drew 374.5 amps of current, 375 amps of current. We dropped down to 10.82 volts. Almost 3,500 watts for about a whole second, and dropped down under 11 volts. So people, if you're going to get a big amplifier, make sure you have the electrical to back it up. Otherwise, these are the results that you can expect to get. And just for the heck of it, 85. See, we're not even touching the resistors. So, yeah, that was the whole point of this video, this tutorial video, is if you have, it takes power to make power. I'm going to make a separate video, and we're going to see how much power that this one battery and this one power supply can sustain and keep the voltage at battery level, which is going to be about 12.5 volts. So matter of fact, we're going to see where it goes to about 12 volts, all the way down to 12. All right, that's all for this one.